Hi, this is Wendy from HMO Success, and today's video is all about running costs in your HMO. Okay, so if you've just started investing in HMOs or you're looking to get started in HMOs, one of the big questions that you need to have answered is, of course, how much is it going to cost me to run my property? How much will my HMO cost me every month? So I want to run through some of the costs that you're going to be faced with when you get your HMO up and running, but also a really easy ready reckoner, which I'll share with you right at the end. So what are those monthly costs that you need to figure into your budget to make sure that this property is going to be profitable for you? Well, the biggest cost that you'll face every month is, of course, your mortgage. Now, that depends on how much money you leave in the deal. That depends on how much mortgage you decide to raise against the property. That depends on how much the mortgage company are even willing to lend you in the first place. So these are different factors which it's very hard to predict on an overall basis. It depends on the size of the project. It depends on the GDV or the valuation of the project at the end. What you have to make sure, though, is that the cost of servicing that mortgage, the cost of paying it off every month, is not going to stretch you so far that your project suddenly becomes unprofitable. So weighing up how much money to leave in, how much money to take out, how much mortgage to take, and what the payments are every month is a really critical evaluation. But alongside that, what you want to know is how much is the HMO going to cost to run each and every month? What are my general running costs going to be? So today I want to run through what those general running costs are so that you get a really good idea of a ballpark figure. And I'm going to share with you my method at the end so it makes it really, really easy. Now, if you've ever been on our 2-day event or you're thinking of coming along to our next 2-day event, one of the things that we give to you as a bonus for attending is our HMO Killer starter pack. And as well as getting this really comprehensive booklet of lots and lots of extra information about HMOs, you get a whole other bundle of stuff as well. And I'll share the details in the video so you can see exactly what you get. So if you're interested in our 2-day event, we'd love to have you along if you haven't been before. And today gives you a bit of a snapshot into some of the things that we cover on those 2 days. So what are your typical HMO running costs? Well, of course, there's all the basic running costs, things like the TV licence. Now, the TV licence you can buy annually, but we tend to pay monthly. We tend to buy each TV licence. We have one per property on a direct debit, and it's just a monthly cost that goes out. And it's about £145 a year, which equates to about £12 a month. Now, you might not be putting TVs in your houses, in the communal areas. You might be saying to the tenants that they have to provide their own TV licence, which is fine. That's another way that many people do it. Water and sewerage. Now, unless you have a water meter in the property, your water and sewerage rates will be just a one-off monthly fee. And on average, for a 5-bed HMO, you would probably be paying about £35 to £40 a month. That's how much we normally would budget. Now, if it's a water meter, the water meter guy will come out every so often and will want to read the meter. And you will then get a very specific bill for the amount of water that has been used. This meter reading is really worth capturing each and every month when you do your HMO safety checks, or when one of your team does it, or when your agent does it. It'll help you track how much water is actually being used in the property. Broadband. Well, we know, don't we? Next to running water, broadband is the most important thing for tenants, particularly right now. So how much should you be paying for your broadband? Well, prices vary up and down the country. We have a mixture of Virgin media that we use and BT. We tend not to use some of the secondary providers that sort of piggyback on the back of BT. We like to actually go straight to the provider themselves. So BT fibre broadband wherever possible. It gives the best result, and particularly if your tenants are relying on Wi-Fi throughout the whole building, you really want a really strong broadband coverage in the building. You can buy Wi-Fi boosters, and these can either be sockets which install into the wall, or they're the extra adapters that you can plug in. However, whichever way you do it, making sure that your tenants have really good broadband and Wi-Fi is vital. But how much should you be paying for this? Well, if you are having a new contract, you might often find that actually the first year is pretty cheap. You can pay as little as £20 a month, which includes the landline and then unlimited broadband. But you'll find that from year 2 onwards, you'll be stung with higher charges. Now, here's a trick. Don't rely on the internet website to tell you how much you should be paying for your year 2 renewal. Phone them up directly. Tell them that you're a landlord, tell them that this is a shared property, because many of these companies have extra special deals for landlords. So phone them up and you'll probably find you get a really good discount. We pay on average about £35 a month per property. Now, the big one, gas and electricity. This is really the most unpredictable and the hardest one to judge. When you first set up your HMO, the first few months will give you a bit of an idea of the running costs. But you know, we've had tenants that have used loads of electricity because they've had the washing machine on all the time. Or we've had other tenants who are very frugal, they're out all the time at work, and so the gas bill is pretty low. It will take time for you to judge how your tenants live in the property, how much gas and electricity they use, and what is reasonable. But I would say that every month, if you can keep a meter reading of the gas and electric, it's really going to help you to judge what the bill will be, and it will give you some historic levels to then compare future levels to, giving you a really good idea. Again, as a ballpark figure, I'd expect between £120 and £140 a month for a 5 or 6 bed HMO. That's how much I would budget for. Council tax. Up and down the land, you have to pay council tax if you have a residential property and people are living there. So council tax varies by area, and you can find it out by going on your local council website. They will give you the council tax bands. So every property is banded into a different grading, you know, A to F. And these are historical levels which were set many years ago, I think 1981 it might have been. So it's a long time ago since council tax was first set in train. But council tax bans your property along with other properties of the same style, the same size and the same era. Now, in our area, most of the properties that we buy and turn into HMOs generally are Band A or Band B, which costs us about £110 to £130 a month. Across the UK, the banding is actually fairly similar and costs are fairly similar. So you can probably be safe to budget about £130 per property per month for council tax. The next cost to bear in mind is management. Now, you might have a team that are going to be managing your HMO, in which case you'll find that this will become much cheaper for you. It's a much cheaper way of managing if you have your own team or your own processes and systems. In fact, some landlords like to manage their HMOs themselves. I don't like to do that, so I have a team that does it for me. But alternatively, you might use a specialist HMO managing agent. Now, specialist HMO managing agents do everything that is needed to be done in terms of managing your HMO. It's a pretty big task. So expect to pay anything between 14 and 20% per month on your gross income, your gross rental income, to that management company. And when you're looking at different HMO managing agents, compare and contrast all the charges. Some managing agents have a lower headline figure, maybe 12, 13, 14%, but they charge more for tenant find. Others charge less for tenant find, but maybe have a slightly higher monthly management figure. So make sure that you're comparing like with like when you're looking at managing agents, so that you don't get stung on costs that you weren't expecting. Warranties. Now, if you've got some new white goods in your property, if you've got some new, brand new kitchen, you've got a new washing machine, tumble dryer, fridge freezer perhaps, it's a good idea to take out the manufacturer warranty. Now, this is just a simple piece of card that comes with the appliance. You just fill it in and send it back. And it means that you've then got at least a year's warranty on that item should it go wrong. After that, you can often buy extra warranties. After year 2 or 3 of having the HMO, it might actually be more beneficial for you to replace some of those items if they go wrong, because sometimes the cost of the warranties can go up as the appliances get older, and then it's not really cost saving. So those are the main areas that you need to think about, but there are then some additional service areas like cleaning. Will your cleaning be part of the HMO management, or will it be done separately? Now, if you're going to employ a separate cleaner or you're going to use a separate cleaning company, you're going to be looking between £18 and £25 an hour. Cleaners these days are not cheap. So it's worth budgeting a good amount to make sure that you get a good level of service from a professional cleaner who knows exactly what they're doing. Now, what about maintenance? We tend to budget about 5% for maintenance and voids across the whole year. So if you calculate your general return, the amount that you're going to be getting in from your tenants on an annual basis, and times that by 5%, and then divide that by 12, that will give you the monthly maintenance cost and the monthly cost for voids that you should be calculating into your final figures. Now, that's quite a lot of different costs to bear in mind, and you might find that there are extra costs that you want to put into that list as well. But what is a ballpark figure? How can you figure out exactly how much that your tenants are going to cost you in terms of running the HMO? Well, my recommendation is that between £90 and £100 a month per tenant generally will give you a good budgetary figure. So on a 5-bed HMO, that's about £500 a month. All of these costs will be covered by that one figure of between £90 and £100 a month. Now, it does depend where you are in the country, because some places it's a bit more expensive for some of these services, but generally that's a really good ballpark figure, about £90 to £100 per month per tenant. That will give you the basic budget. Now, on the whole, once you've added up all of the running costs and the cost of servicing your mortgage, you'll probably find they'll come to about 50% of the income that you make from your tenants. So that's a really easy way of calculating, isn't it? If you're getting £2,300 in from your tenants, you can expect about £1,150 to be going out the door in terms of mortgage and running costs, and the rest of it is your profit. So I hope this helps you to get that budget right. Make sure that you are covering all your costs. Make sure that you've not spent too much on the mortgage. Make sure you're not spending too much on the utilities. Keep a managing eye, a really careful eye on those outgoings, and you'll find that you'll have a really profitable HMO. And I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thanks for watching.